Well, today let's talk about something called momentum shift. It applies to really any lifestyle change we try to make, but definitely to weight loss. And a lot of us give up too soon or don't even get started because we don't factor this in. We look at where we are now and where we want to be, and the distance looks too far. But if we add this in, it doesn't have to be so daunting. So let's talk more about that coming up next. Well, hi, I'm Dawn from The Minimal Mom, and today will be our last segment in our Walking for Weight Loss series. And it's been fun getting to just talk a little bit more about really how we can simplify weight loss, but hopefully kind of demystifying it a little bit along the way. We talked about the power of walking and how just getting started doing that can help give us more energy than to tackle some diet changes and our weight loss goals. And we talked about willpower and hopefully brought a little more understanding around how that works and changing the way we look at food. And I know, again, weight loss can be simple when we break it down like this, but it's still not always easy. And so today, let's talk a little bit about momentum shift, because I think a lot of people give up too soon on a diet or any lifestyle change they've made because this hasn't happened yet. And so basically what we're talking about is the point where it just gets easier. You know, if we say I'm here and here's my goal of losing 100 pounds, in between there feels daunting, it feels far away, and it feels hard, right? But what we fail to factor in is that, say we start a new diet like keto. Well, in the beginning, we're having to learn new recipes, we're having to learn new snacks, we're having to learn about macros and all the different things that go into it. We're usually trying to consume a little bit less calories, so we're hungry. Our stomach hasn't shrunk down a little bit yet, and we might be a little bit moody, and it just feels kind of difficult or like a lot in the beginning. But what happens once you get a couple weeks in? So one of my favorite success stories from when I was a personal trainer was Louise, and she was an empty nester. She had 2 sons that were in college, and she finally decided that enough was enough. And she had, when I met her, she had lost 80 pounds doing Atkins. And so she was being with me because she had kind of gotten to a point where she had about 10 more pounds to lose, and she just couldn't quite get there. But she had made so much progress on her own. But I won't forget the first time I met with her, she came in and she had a little lunch bag with her packed. And so I said, Louise, this is awesome. She had lost 80 pounds doing it all by herself. And I'm like, what has been, kind of your secret or the key to your success? And she held up her lunch bag and she said, my friends make fun of me. She's like, we'll go to Panera or out to lunch somewhere and I'll just grab stuff out of my lunchbox and not even order something from the restaurant. So every morning she packed her bag with snacks and bottles of water and everything that she knew she would need to get through the day. And so you have to imagine in the beginning when she was trying to create this new habit, that couldn't have been easy, right? I mean, if it's something we're not used to doing now every morning to have to add this extra step. But now here she was 80 pounds later and it was just second nature for her to pack that kind of like success bag and to have with her every day. And here she was just 10 pounds away from her goal. So that was really cool. And it's just always stuck with me because that in itself, it wasn't actually like a huge change. Like it didn't take her hours and hours to do. It probably took her, 10 minutes in the morning maybe, but it was just something that she did every single day. And so I know a lot of people find this too, like when they're decluttering, right? If you've been watching Tidying Up with Marie Kondo, you kind of see the first part of the episode where the people are just like, oh my goodness, it's overwhelming. It's so much work. They can't believe how much stuff they have, how much left they have to go through. But then you get a little bit into it and they've kind of had this like gear shift, right? The momentum has shifted to where they're like, wow, it's really empowering and they're starting to feel successful and they've made a lot of progress and that's propelling them forward because they can see the end goal. And so again, when we're looking at weight loss, you don't have to lose 80 pounds to feel like the end is in sight. You can lose 10 pounds and your clothes are fitting a little looser. You feel like you're getting these systems in place. You're learning new recipes. And then at that point, you're going to feel a whole lot more hopeful that you can reach this end goal. And so again, my hope is that one of the biggest takeaways from this video series we've been doing is don't not get started because the end feels too far away or because it feels too hard. Again, we just talked about these little changes every day. Pack your lunch bag every day. aim to get 10,000 steps in every day. And if you only get 5,000, celebrate, because in the past you were only getting 2,000. It's these little things every day. And here's one other thing that kind of struck me this week. So Tom and I have been, working on remodeling our kitchen. So, we started on Christmas Day, and today is February 6th or 7th. And so it's been a little over a month now that our kitchen has been just kind of a mess and in progress and all. I mean, I cleaned it up for these videos, doesn't it look nice? But there's just been construction stuff going around. And what struck me the other day was he said, I really feel like life is under control when the kitchen is cleaned up. And I knew he always kind of operated better when the house was in order, but for him to actually recognize that and acknowledge that, I was like, wow, I think you're absolutely right. I don't know what it is, but I think we underestimate the impact that our space around us has on how we feel, but also the things that we believe about ourselves. When our house is a mess, we believe that we're a slob or that we're lazy or, all these horrible things about ourselves that aren't actually true. But it's amazing when the kitchen's clean, then I'm like, oh yeah, I can think about packing that lunch bag, right? Or cooking dinner tonight. When it's a mess, I am just like, can we just order something to eat tonight or pull a frozen pizza out of the freezer? But when the kitchen's clean, I'm like, okay, we can make something healthy tonight. I can try a new recipe tonight, and it doesn't feel so overwhelming. So maybe for you, the place to start isn't even with a new diet plan, but it's just with simplifying your kitchen. I don't know. You have to decide what's best for you. But I definitely know that once we simplified our house, I did feel like maintaining our weight, maintaining our budget, and our finances, and all these other things that sometimes get out of whack and out of balance started to fall into place. So if maybe it's not the right time to take on a new diet, maybe, tackling your kitchen and simplifying it could be another great place to start. Well, I definitely hope this helps. And coming up in the following weeks, we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the meals we cook, how we cook consistently at night, because I am not that different from you. I don't like cooking, and so it has been something that I have been intentional about to make sure we're cooking every night. So I've shared my meal system in the past, but there's some other things I think that we've started to do intentionally that have helped as well. So we'll talk more about that coming up in the next few weeks. And definitely, if you have any questions, please leave them down below. And we'd also love it if you would subscribe. There's some things that we do in the community section that might not show up in your newsfeed if you aren't subscribed. We're gonna do our full kitchen reveal tour coming up this Saturday, so that'll be kind of fun as well. So thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.